Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the 2025 Utah Crits, day number 2 today at America First Field. We are just about ready to resume racing here with our elite women and elite men coming up. Beautiful weather here in Utah today, aside from a little bit of heat, but should make for some great racing if it's anything like what we saw yesterday. Pro women and pro men's race have been reduced to 60 minutes of racing. They will both race 60 minutes only today, just a little bit shorter because of the heat protocol out here under USA Cycling rules. So 60 minutes for pro women, followed by 60 minutes for pro men, and we are just over 15 minutes away from our next race start here at America First Field. So Category 2-3 riders cooling down on course right now, and very shortly we'll start welcoming our elite women to the line.
Category 2-3. Top 3 head over to the podium. Category 2-3 head over to the podium. Here's our call up. Generally, this is just for information for top 10 yesterday. Yeah. Otherwise, people that have stuff.
So again, current race time 2:17. We are on time for a 2:30 start for our elite women. Doing 60 minutes today. We'll start calling them up to the line at a little after 2:20. We don't want to let them or make them roast in the heat for too long. So we're going to let them stay in the shade as long as possible before we bring our elite women out to course. Course is open right now for warm-up and inspection. Right, if you want to take a look, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, go ahead and find yourself somewhere cool to hang out.
Category 2-3, we're 1 minute from podium. 1 minute from podium. Gonna need Sam Hart to the podium as well. Derek Simpson to the podium. Come on over and make yourself known. Simpson and Hart, make yourself known along with our top 3 on the day. In the air. Look at that celebration. Here's your top 3 once again. Congratulations. Moving on to our overall Omnium. 2 days of racing and in our Omnium standings. 3rd place, Derek Simpson. Derek, awesome job. Derek ending up with 62 points. Only 2 points in front of him, Sam Hart from Fort Lewis College, finishing up 2nd overall. And then finally, a combination of a gold medal on day number 1, a silver medal on day number 2. Please welcome your overall Omnium winner, DJ Nguyen. Hey, once again, congratulations to our Category 2-3. It's a great race. Coming up next, it's going to be our pro women. Again, we still got a little bit of a time to let you be able to stay in the shade. Finally, a chance to be able to get yourself a last-minute something to drink. Freshen up that cold water. 60 minutes of racing for our pro women. Make sure you have 2 full water bottles. Definitely with this heat, 95 degrees. It is a 2-bottle Criterium day.
About 7 minutes away from race start, getting ready for pro women. We are still going to hold on staging here. We are trying to keep the riders as cool as possible before the start today. So we'll call these riders to the line here in just a couple minutes. About 5 minutes before the start, which is in 2 to 3 minutes from now. We'll start lining them up and introduce you to some of the top riders and get them racing for an abbreviated 60 minutes.
All right, pro women, like to be able to do our first call to staging to the line. Get that ice in the water bottles, then come on out. Once again, pro women to the line. We're under 5 minutes to race start. Under 5 minutes to race start. If you were top 5 yesterday, line up in the front. If you were top 5 on day number 1, line up in the front. Otherwise, watch behind you. Dirk, watch behind you. Got a whole slew. Everybody coming in into the staging. Remember, top 5 stay in the front. Top 5 stay in the front. We're going to have a quick top 5 call-ups, and then we're going to get things underway as 35 riders on the start line. Pro women to the line. Pro women to the line. Yesterday was day number 1 of the Utah Crits, and now we return for day number 2.
We're going to start by introducing you to some of the top riders in this field, starting with your defending champion here at America First Field. Winner last year, winner yesterday, and your reigning Criterium National Champion. Hailing from California, welcome to the front row, Kendall Ryan.
This next rider comes from Switzerland. Previous national champion on the Madison on the track and a national champion in the Criterium. Coming off a second place yesterday on day number 1. Please welcome Eileen Seitz.
Representing one of the strongest teams in America right now, the Virginia's Blue Ridge 2028 team. She hails from New Zealand, an absolute speedster in the sprints. Say hello to Riley McMullen.
This next rider, riding in the green jersey of Fount, coming out of Carmel, Indiana. A doctor of sports medicine on the weekdays and a pro cyclist on the weekends. 4th place yesterday, Andrea Sear.
And finally, a 10-year pro, 5th place yesterday and back for more today. Representing Analog Racing, next up is the white jersey of Ava Hackman.
Rest of the riders to the field, please.
Good afternoon, riders. Welcome to America First Field Criterium. You will be racing 60 minutes. 3 laps end at 6 laps to go. If you need to get to the wheel pit, please do not ride backwards on the course. You will get your start from the announcers. Be safe and have fun.
Riders were 30 seconds out, 30 seconds out. 95 degrees, another cooker here at America First Field. 2nd year of having this event right here. It's a fantastic race course. Very different than day number 1. Now we're about to find out in 60 minutes who will become the 2025 champion. Timers are ready. Officials are ready. We're getting ready to launch day number 2. When I say riders ready. Go on the whistle. Go. Going on the whistle.
Underway in racing, 60 minutes for our pro women on day 2 of Utah Crits. Already seeing some moves off the front of this bike race. First time up that hill out of turn 1, and already got some attackers trying to roll away. Pretty clear that they're going to try and make this as hard of a race as possible, as if this one needed any help with the heat and elevation gain today, but they're going to attack from the gun here.
Taking advantage of the call-ups or maybe getting on that front row. A couple riders attacking immediately, trying to be able to come through. Ava Hackman not waiting around. Look at her tucked in right now, trying to be able to go across. Big, big gap. Now the Kingdom Elite, the purple jerseys, having to respond to that. She's a strong rider. Samantha Clark trying to be able to bridge up. That's what you want. One rider by themselves, it's a long time, but 2 riders could be the perfect combination. Right now, waiting to see who might be interested in chasing, and the answer is no one.
Look at this gap that they have opened already, in a very uninterested field rolling through the line here, as Hockman going to take advantage of her front row start, and the field going to call their shot and let her go. Now, this could be very dangerous. Ava Hockman is a great long-range rider. She's got a lot of power underneath her. This rider in the white jersey will be a serious, serious threat. Samantha Clark as well, the Kingdom Elite rider, had some good results. Winner at Sunny King, as Frankie said. So if these 2 can link up, that could be a dangerous move. Early on, though, I think the odds would be against them. But, Frankie, it's always the ones you never expect.
Yeah, right now I think Ava Hackman has to be aware where Samantha Clark is, almost easing up. Like that first rider should maybe ease up to be able to get a little bit of help, to be able to have them have a chance to be able to stay away. Ava Hockman, part of that Denver Disruptors team, the NCL team that was around for a season. After that, kind of hop, skipping, and jumping to different teams, and right now finding herself listed as Team Sound Pony, but then it shows her in Bike Reg listed as Analog Racing, and yet she's wearing a Chloe Hosking team kit. So not really sure where her allegiance is, but definitely on the front of this bike race right now as Hockman now comes through. We're going to start timing it out, try to be able to figure out what the gap is. She comes through at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Samantha Clark, there's going to be about a 12-second. Gap is 12 seconds. 12 seconds. More importantly, look at the gap to the main field. Where are they?
Field starting to pick it up as they get increasingly large time checks here. Virginia's Blue Ridge and Fout going to take charge on the front. So this will be two sort of super teams that can link up and work together. This is your worst nightmare if you're one of those two riders up the road and you're in the breakaway or trying to get a breakaway started, because now you're looking at some serious power starting to chase you down, and they look aggressive. Fout out of the saddle, up to the front, and now pushing the tempo.
Well, I got to say, watching Ava Hackman come through, she looks a little bit stronger than Samantha Clark. Maybe Samantha Clark is just pacing herself a little bit more, but if you're trying to be able to go across the gap, normally you want to do it a little bit quicker than later. The longer you stay out there, the harder it's going to be. So if the two riders can join forces, they might have a lot better chance in being able to stay away.
Oh, Hockman certainly not waiting up for Samantha Clark here as she rolls through the line. Clark not even in sight here. Hockman's going to be around turn one before Clark even crests the hill here. I don't know if the link up is coming anytime soon here, Frankie.
Samantha, that time gap now is 20 seconds, and you have a 20-second lead on the chasers behind you. Well, maybe not now. Seems to have shrunk. That's going to come down to about a 7 seconds. Samantha Clark needs to figure out what she wants to do as Kingdom Elite now on the attack. Shannon Koch riding on the front, starting to be able to string out this group.
I think they're starting to realize that Clark not going to make it across here, and Hockman going to be left out to dry all by herself here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Clark back in next time through, especially seeing Shannon Koch up on the front of the field. And into the hill. Going to make it even tougher for Clark. So we'll go ahead and call that back together for all intents and purposes here. That leaves Ava Hockman solo off the front of the white jersey with the last time check of 21 seconds.
One thing I keep an eye on is Samantha Clark. When there's kind of heat and you put in that kind of effort, if you redline yourself, sometimes it's very hard to recover. Heart rate will just rocket up and starts going so fast it's not actually pumping the blood into it, kind of anything that you feel like your muscles. It's just kind of defibrillating. So got to be careful getting a little bit of heat stroke. Again, 95 degrees out here, very, very hot. They're only racing for 60 minutes, but you put in a big, big effort like that, it could come back and backfire on you. And that definitely applies to our sole leader, Ava Hockman, who's looking fantastic right now coming through 7 minutes into the race.
Hockman looking calm, cool, and collected on the bike. Great form right now. Not really seeing any signs of fatigue or letting up. I think she's going to be in pretty good shape here, at least for a while. 7.5 minutes in to a 60-minute race. Can she do this for 53 more minutes? We're going to find out. Meanwhile, Kendall Ryan making her way to the front. We saw this yesterday, Frankie, where once Kendall Ryan realized that nobody was going to do the work to start chasing, she kind of tried to be the spark that lit the wildfire. And it worked. She was able to entice more riders to chase once the Stars and Stripes jersey got to the front. Can't help but wonder if that's what she's doing now. She knows Ava Hockman well. She knows exactly what Hockman is capable of. I'd be doing everything I could to bring this rider back right now.
Yeah, Kendall Ryan mentioned yesterday that she gave a good dig to kind of be able to test herself. So I tried to be able to find out how her legs felt, but also to be able to test some of the other riders out there to see what they were going to be able to do. And so Kendall Ryan now inching a little bit more forward. Remember, she won this race last year from a breakaway. It was a breakaway of 4, and Kendall Ryan ended up winning the sprint from that group of 4. So Kendall can ride in a break on this course, and she knows what this course is like and how hard it can get.
See, Hackman goes into her semi-arrow tuck on the backside of this course, trying to bend those elbows, get down low. That's about all you can do in this scenario, because your biggest enemy right now for Ava Hockman is going to be the wind resistance that she's got to deal with.
Yeah, cheer around, bang on those boards, Ava Hockman. 25 seconds, 25 seconds. Maybe a little bit less. Last lap was 25 seconds. Somebody else is welcome to be her director, but got to give her some encouragement. Give her some big time gaps. 16 seconds is the time gap. 16 seconds. One rider up the road, 16 seconds.
I think that was largely in part to Kendall Ryan's pull. Ryan probably single-handedly pulled back 5 or 6 seconds once she made it up to the front. Now we're going to see if that inspired anyone else like it did yesterday.
Riders are going to be looking for it to get down to around 10. Once it gets down to about maybe 6 to 8 seconds, then you're going to see riders trying to be able to jump across the gap. 16 seconds, a little bit too big to jump across the gap right now. So right now they have her in her sights right now. As Ava Hockman almost looks like she sat up, sitting up, realizing like she is not going to be able to keep up this pressure for much longer. And here comes the main group right behind her.
That is not a motivated-looking breakaway rider at all.
Kingdom Elite, that looks like 2 riders on the front right now, setting a tempo, trying to be able to bring back that one sole leader. And I got to say, nice job by them, because it's going to be mission accomplished as Ava Hockman now just dangling just out in front of them with only about a 5-second lead. Rider off the front, Ava Hockman. We talked about her being a 10-year veteran. Started racing, or became professional back in 2015. Started racing just before that. Now, I talked about it. The riders, once the gap got down to about 5 seconds, riders are going to try to be able to go across the gap. That's exactly what's happening at the bottom of the hill. They're taking a flyer, trying to be able to catch up to the leader. Here they come. That's going to be Tess Edwards from Siniska. A little flick of the elbow, trying to be able to get a little bit of help. Keeping the pressure on. Come on, stay on that wheel. Get on there, Brianna Samuel. Excellent job, Brianna, hanging in there. That was a hard 2 laps to be able to bring back the breakaway. Now they're going to take a little bit of a breather. You should see things relax a little bit and slow down a little bit for the next couple laps.
Well, this is oftentimes when you see a counterattack come out of the group. A rider has just been brought back. And then you see another jump off the front. Fountain waiting for it here. You see them looking over the shoulder. And I think they're waiting for a purple Kingdom Elite jersey to go.
Well, that was standard operating procedure yesterday on day number 1. The purple jerseys constantly attacked. So I think a lot of these riders on day number 2 kind of expecting a little bit of the same thing. Not sure what the tactics and strategy for Kingdom Elite are going to be, but yesterday very aggressive. And again, in this heat, you got to be careful about how many efforts you do. Riders getting ready to be able to come around. We're only about 15 minutes into the 60-minute race. And right now, groups all together. I talked about how they wanted to take a breather. That's exactly what they're doing right now.
Another move here from what I think is Analog Racing. Yeah, they're going to go again.
thought it was over 2. Eleanor Roberts. What was that first number? Oh, I might be way. It couldn't have been her again. You think it was her again?
So Eleanor Roberts, the rider moving to the front here. Going to take the group through the corner. Pretty clear. Analog Racing got a plan today, Frankie. They're going to try and be as aggressive as they can early on. Oof.
Oh, skimming the barriers there, going wide. I think that was a Fountain Racing rider that took that turn wide. Pretty good bike handling skills, being able to keep that up and not scrape along there. You can see on the outside, Golden State Blazers starting to be able to move up. I think that was Joyce Monson. Joyce coming out of California wearing that rust-colored jersey of the Golden State Blazers. As a reminder, yesterday, Kendall Ryan winning that sprint. Eileen Seitz in the red jersey from Butcher Box finishing up second. Riley McMullen in third. So those are a few of your good sprinters. Remember, Kendall won here in 2024. Year before that, Paulo Munoz, one of the good sprinters, won in 2023. And then Maggie Coles-Leister won in 2022 here on this course. Of course, going back further than 2 years ago, it was a different day number 2. This is only the second year for America First Field. This is the home of Real Salt Lake and the Utah Royale. And we've had some great prizes as our Omnium winner getting a custom jersey from Real Salt Lake. And also our second and third place receiving a full-size soccer ball and a mini soccer ball from Real Salt Lake. Super excited to be here at America First Field. Once again, second year of the event here, and it's day number 2 of our Utah Crits, brought to you by Larry H. Miller Cycling Club, Utah Sports Commission, DNA Cycling, and Cotton Socks, providing our live web stream for everybody at home to be able to watch.
Taking a look at Ariel Verhaeren up on the front for Automatic Racing, the former BMX pro. Now lending her talents on the road with Automatic. Checks right, checks left. Waiting to see if anyone wants to come over the top of her.
Yeah, Verhaeren ended up 7th place yesterday, and on Automatic Racing, she's by herself, and that's what made it a little bit difficult. Granted, Kendall Ryan was by herself, but we're talking about Kendall Ryan. It's a little bit different. Ariel Verhaeren with a ton of speed and, navigating that, fighting for position, doing all of that on her own, had a great result to be able to finish up in 6th. Remember, these riders also thinking about the overall Omnium. 2 days of racing, they gather points on day number 1 and day number 2 to award a whole nother set of prizes at the end of the day. Very controlled racing right now as riders trying to be able to figure out who's going to be able to do what. Sarah Vladimirova, Ride or Die Racing out of Colorado, almost practically in a small chain ring, sitting on the back of the group, turning the legs over, trying to be able to keep the legs as fresh as possible, saving all of her power for a little bit later on. Now this stretch it's on TV right now, that after turn number 1, going towards turn number 2, that is a very, very strong headwind, and that is where it will bunch up each and every time. Strong headwind, a little bit of a crosswind, definitely through turns 1 and 2. Then once they turn, they have a little bit of a very fast downhill coming into the major crosswind section that's on the uphill. Wind switching a little bit of directions from what it had earlier this morning. This morning on the uphill was a direct crosswind. Now it's a little bit of a head cross as they make their way up. That's going to affect how this sprint plays out as well, if it comes down to a group sprint at the end of the day. As a reminder for everybody that's hanging around watching our race in person, but also on the live web stream, happy Father's Day to everybody.
Father's Day to you, Frankie.
Thank you. Yep. Very good.
3 kids, right?
3 kids, all out of the house. They kept me busy. At one time, I had 3 kids, all under 3 years of age. So
wow.
That was a lot of running around.
Wow.
Riley McMullen now on the attack. It looks like Verhaeren is the one who responded to that. Riley coming to that turn with a little bit of a bobble, and again, that's the headwind part that they're going to hit. Riley's got decided she's going to put her head down, a little flick of the elbow, trying to get some help. Can't do it by yourself. Gonna need a few extra riders to be able to come through, but it's so easy to get onto the wheel in a headwind, and you save so much energy. Brad, you speak about it all the time, about how much energy you save in the draft. When it's a headwind like this, it's even more compounded if you're sitting in the group.
Back to a nice long single file formation up here on the front. About a bike length between each of them. Going to spread out a little bit on the downhill. Verhaeren trying to figure out what to do here with Fount. I think Fount going to continue to do what they have done all season and really establish their brand as the aggressive team out there. Every time they pin on a number, Fount not afraid to attack, not afraid to ride the front. Anytime there's any easy riding, Fount is almost always there to say something about it. Now Andrea Sear is putting an exclamation mark on the end of that. So Sear and Verhaeren going to take some big pulls up on the front here to try to open this up. There's a nice little move. Somebody going to jump up the left side here. We get an ID on what is now 2 riders away. Just barely slipped through that gap on the left side. I think Verhaeren was looking right. Somebody came left. Race Radio reporting Heidi Prederis on her way into the pit with a flat tire here. Shannon Koch once again taking over, doing damage at the back.
Now they're attacking that far left-hand side. Just skirting right along the barriers. It's the purple jerseys again, and Kingdom Elite, that team out of Florida, on the attack right now, trying to be able to separate it out. That's a nice size gap right there. Might be the Siniska rider, Tess Edwards, the 4th rider, trying to be able to go across to be able to get up on there, on that wheel. Gonna have to wait to be able to see how this is gonna play out, but 3 riders now on the attack, trying to be able to get a little bit of a gap, and it's a drag race right now. 3 against 1 against the whole field as they hit the downhill, the very fast downhill section before they turn in towards the uphill. Andrea Sears in there. Riley McMullen is in there. Ariel Verhaeren has made it in there as well. I think that was Eileen Seitz with Butcher Box trying to be able to go across the gap from the main field. That's a high-speed lap. We're going to see some damage in the back when they come up the hill. Watch to see the gaps that have opened up behind, and you're going to see it all strung out. McMullen keeping the pace on as the damage is being done in the back of the group. Every time there's a little chance of a slowdown, it gives an opportunity for some of the riders that were dropped to be able to tag back on. One mistake for many of the riders, once you're tagged back on, I mean, I know you're pinned and you're hurting, but once you have all that momentum, you should always use it to try to go a little bit further up in the front. Don't be satisfied with just latching onto the back of the group and staying in that back five. Try to be able to get up into the middle. Give you a little bit of room to be able to follow other wheels and be able to slide towards the back. But now definitely a breather. 2 hot laps right now. Riders all trying to be able to catch their breath. Next lap will be coming up on our halfway point, coming up on our 30-minute mark.
And this is Heidi Praderis in the pit, who just got there. Frankie, one unique thing about this course at America First Field, there's no way to cut this course, right? You can't ride backwards. So if you get a flat, you basically got to ride the whole circuit before you get back around to the pit.
Yeah, there's no opening to be able to cut through the soccer field, is there? That'd be a nice shortcut, though, and that'd be tricky riding a flat tire on that very fast descent as well. Praderis being thrown back in, so now Kingdom Elite back up to full power. Sitting on the back of the group right now, that's going to be Sarah Vladimirova. They're doing a great job. Again, any opportunity you get as they slow down, should try to be able to move up a little bit, try to get into a little bit better position where it's more comfortable. A lot of racing still to go. Again, not even to our halfway point. Seen some very aggressive racing, but nobody has been able to establish a breakaway. Big thank you to Hangar 15, one of those riders going by right there from Hangar 15. One of the oldest riders in the race. Doing a fantastic job coming out here, supporting her team and supporting the race. And that was Heather Albert doing a fantastic job. Ariel Verhaeren now trying to be able to go up the road. Kendall Ryan now going across the gap. Damage being done in the back once again. Big move. The Stars and Stripes jersey doesn't like that move. She knows the sprinter with Ariel Verhaeren going up the road with Andrea Sear, a very strong time trialist. Talked about her in our rider introductions. Dr. Sear, sports medicine doctor on the weekdays and a professional cyclist on the weekends. She's had actually a very successful 2025. A lot of the early season races, and I don't want to call them smaller races, but having a ton of success. Ton of races also, probably one of the most active racers we have in the United States. Is every single weekend she finds herself on the road going to a bike race. Well, Samantha Clark recovered from that earlier effort. Finds herself on the front right now. The uphill is a pretty hard section of the course, but arguably between turns 1 and 2, which you're viewing right now on the web stream at least, that's the hardest part of the course as well because of the way the wind is. That is a direct headwind, so that makes it very challenging, and that's where a lot of the attacks we have seen, most of the attacks we actually have seen have not been on the uphill. It's been on that section between turn 1 and 2. Now 2 riders going up the road with Fount Cycling and Kingdom Elite. Both of these teams with multiple riders in the race. So now the question is who's going to be chasing, because the purple jersey has somebody up there and the green jersey have somebody up there.
Got a good gap quickly. Established, I'm going to call this 8 seconds maybe. And just a lap. Field not looking real interested at all. Koch going to take advantage of this.
Two riders up the road. Gap's going to be about 8 seconds. 8 seconds. 2 riders up the road. The Shannon Koch with the purple jersey, the Kingdom Elite. Daniela Audino from Fount Cycling. That's a team out of Washington State, but Daniela is actually out of Colorado. Finds herself in that breakaway. So Daniela Audino, got to be able to watch out for her. Hook it up with Shannon Koch. Shannon Koch coming out of Florida. So a Colorado rider and a Florida rider right now with an 8-second lead.
Well, here you go. Just like last time, Kendall Ryan starting to feel that things are getting a little too out of hand. The Stars and Stripes jersey going to make its way up to the front. Ryan is a good sort of thermometer of when these breakaways get too dangerous for comfort. There you see her pushing hard on the front to lock this down. He wants this over sooner rather than later. Fount going to try and counter that move. Love it.
Moving up into that pro ranks, having a great ride. Daniela Audino on Fount Cycling. Last year was a Category 3 rider. Now mixing it up with the very best here on one of the more challenging courses as well. A lot of coasting going on. Nobody wants to be able to work right now, especially who wants to work with Kendall Ryan, but she was the first one to start it. Kendall didn't pull through, so she was the first one that did want to have to do that kind of effort to stay off the front for the next 20 minutes. We've already switched over to lap cards, and we're seeing 13 laps to go. Riders getting ready to be able to make their way on the uphill, coming through our neutral service. Riders' lap cards are up, 13 to go, 13 to go. Lap cards are up, 13 to go, 13 to go. Adina playing the price of that breakaway with Shannon Koch coming across the line. That's her sitting dead last right now, doing everything she can to be able to stay on the wheel, to be able to stay in the group.
Might be the best story out on course right now. Watching the riders at the back try and hold on after a brutal 35 minutes out there so far. It's not letting up anytime soon. Kingdom Elite, Fount, and occasionally, single-handedly, Kendall Ryan keeping the tempo up here. And it's working. They're splitting riders off the back one by one by one. An abbreviated selection left here. But if you made it this far, all you got to do is hang in there and probably sprint it out at 13 laps. So see if there's maybe one more attack. I would give, there might be a chance for a couple more here, but running out of opportunities, let's put it that way.
Riders running out of juice, heat taking its toll, but also the pace. The legs just giving out, and I think our rider that was in that breakaway, Daniela Adina, not able to stay up with the leaders. I like that she did the race. Instead of sitting in, just trying to survive, went out there and raced her bike, got into the breakaway and gave it her best shot. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Once again, I talked about last year being a Category 3. It's a big step up to the pro women as they're getting ready to be able to come through, seeing 12 laps to go. Riders, 12 to go, 12 laps to go, 12 to go.
Kingdom Elite trying everything they can to make this race as hard as possible. Constantly staying on the front here.
Jenna Nessman right now with the upside down 13, riding on the front right there, trying to be able to set up maybe a little bit of a tempo to see what's going to happen with some of her other teammates riding in the back. Group is definitely dwindled. Started off with 35 riders on the start line. I'm guessing maybe we are down to 25 riders left in the bike race. Tess Edwards from Siniska Racing, riding on the front. Normally racing in Europe, doing 5 and 6 hour rides, coming here, trying to be able to do a good ride, sitting in second position. Brad, she almost pulled off the win yesterday, Tess Edwards did on day number 1. A fantastic Criterium race she had yesterday.
Yeah, breakaway is a lot like playing the lottery. You're going to lose a whole lot more than you win, but when you do win, how special it is. And that's what keeps these riders trying against all odds. Edwards was close, and now we're going to see we'll try and pull the same move today.
Eileen Seitz in that red jersey from Team Butcher Box, starting to be able to go across the, trying to be able to stay with the leaders as well. 11 to go, 11 laps to go, 11 laps to go. One of their sprinters from Kingdom Elite, Ailina Quevedo, the Cuban rider, now off the front with a 5-second lead. Quevedo finishing up 6th yesterday on day number 1. Now finds herself off the front with the rest of the purple jerseys, blocking the main group, trying to be able to slow things down to be able to give their teammate the best chance at staying away. Well, Found Cycling is a team that's riding on the front, a little flick of the elbow, trying to be able to swell off. Tessa Edwards, she's here by herself from Siniska, so she doesn't want to do any work. She wants to be able to force somebody else that has multiple riders to do some of that chasing. I believe Found Cycling has already lost one rider with Daniela Audino, who's in that breakaway. And now Andrea Sear finds herself near the front, kind of a little bit more by herself, a little bit more isolated. Nothing that she can't handle.
See the riders at the front trying to work together, trying to get a little pace line going here to bring this back. They realize this could be dangerous late in the race at 11 to go. Field still struggling to get organized.
Riders' time gap is 6 seconds. 10 laps to go, 10 laps to go, 6 seconds. Virginia Blue Ridge 28. They have not been in one move, have they? Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've been in any of the breakaways that we've been watching, and they have multiple riders in this race.
Yeah, I think they're trying to play coy here a little bit. McMullen, Cummins, Sabo, and Brantz had some good rides yesterday, but I think they're more than happy to let the other teams take the driver's seat. This is a team that is almost always under pressure as the biggest team in the race, and a lot of times that responsibility falls to them. I think they're happy to have a day off today, happy to have that pressure off their shoulder and that bullseye off their back. Kingdom Elite is really trying to establish themselves as a big team here, and it's working. They're doing an incredible job animating this race today. Edwards still looking for some help. Now Virginia's Blue Ridge going to come to the front.
Come on, cheer on Elena Quevedo, trying to be able to go solo. Gap's holding steady at about 4 seconds. It's going to be 9 laps to go. 9 to go. The Cuban rider dangling right off the front, and here comes the rest of the group, all in a single line, trying to be able to chase her down. We're down to 21 riders left, and so that is a very elite group. And what happens when you have 21 riders left, it's all captains. It's all leaders of the pack, and so none of them want to be able to do the work. They want to save their legs for that final sprint, so they're always looking for somebody else. So a lot of little poker games going on out there. Who's going to be able to show their cards? And that's what's happening right now. Spread out across the road, everybody waiting for somebody else to do the job. A little bit of an attack going on around the backstretch. 5 riders got a gap. Nobody wants to be able to come by. They realize they have a gap, but they don't really want to be able to do anything with it, it seems. Kendall Ryan reacting to it himself. The Stars and Stripes jersey deciding, you know what? I can't let that many riders go up the road with only 8 laps to go. I got to be able to keep things in check because I can come back and win this bike race once again. 8 to go, riders. 8 laps to go. 8 to go.
Big attack on the front, coming through the line. Kingdom Elite gonna stay on the gas here. Heidi Prederis going again now. Sensing some weakness in the field at 7 laps to go. Prederis decides it's time to hit out. Could be Ariel Verhaeren back to the front. Joining the little split here. A lot of the same cast of characters on the front all day today. These are the riders that aren't afraid to ride aggressively, right? These are the riders that have the guts to ride on the front. They're not afraid to risk riding on the front because it certainly is a gamble. Like you said earlier, Frankie, that they're going to redline or blow themselves up and end the entire race. But you're not going to win the bike race riding this one conservatively. So that's why you're seeing Fountain, Kingdom Elites, doing the work that they are. Ariel Verhaeren, I would put on that list as well. With no teammates in this race, Verhaaren's got no reason to be doing work on the front other than she thrives in difficult conditions here.
Pretty interesting. Ava Hackman in that white jersey, already following Kendall Ryan around in that Stars and Stripes jersey. Beautiful attack going up the left-hand side right now. Very well timed. That's going to be Shannon Koch. Tess Edwards having to react to it immediately, but you can see the legs are starting to give out. 6 laps to go. Boy, the reaction that these riders had in the first few laps, you can tell it's not the same. The legs starting to give out a little bit earlier. I've seen Kendall Ryan now having to close down about 3 gaps all by herself, riding to the front, taking things into her own hands. Now, she's not closing down the gaps that are in the very front. She's closing down more so in the middle of the field, not letting 6 riders go up the road. Shannon Koch on that attack going up the hill has a big gap right now after going around turn number 1. Talked about it yesterday with Shannon Koch when she goes solo. She won in Noonan and she won in Omaha. 2 big races, and the way she did it was riding away all by herself. All done. You can stop. You're all done. You're welcome. Shannon hugging the very inside line. She knows she's pro. Been a great rider for a long time, a pro rider for many years as well, a multi-time national champion. Knows the line to be able to take. The shortest line around a turn is on the inside, and that's exactly what she's doing. Look how she's hugging that inside turn. Now starting to be able to come on back out. This is your final stretch coming up. Cheer on is Shannon Koch trying to be able to win here on day number 2. It's 5 to go.
First is Prederis, then it's Koch, and Kingdom Elite continues to shuffle the deck here as Koch is going to go out of sight on the start-finish stretch as she just goes around turn 1. Field cresting that hill here. It is so much harder to chase a rider that you can't see because these riders don't know whether they're gaining time or losing time. And now Virginia's Blue Ridge 2028 is going to deploy Olivia Cummins up to the front to try to take care of this problem in purple.
Olivia Cummins, an Olympian from Paris, now riding onto the front. Time gap was 15 seconds. It looked and felt like a lot bigger, but we've seen many times 15 seconds coming back, and again, when they come around, it's going to be 4 laps to go, but now it's coming down. Who's going to do the chasing? Who's left in the group that has the legs to be able to bring back Shannon Koch? Pro Men, just so you know, you're going to be coming up next. Your race is going to be 60 minutes as well. Pro Men, because of the heat, your race is going to be 60 minutes as you guys are coming up next. You're going to be on time, getting ready for your start at 3:50. Again, 3:50 for the Pro Men coming up next. Big thank you to Cotton Socks for our live web stream. Fantastic live coverage of our day number 1 and day number 2 of our Utah Crits. As Shannon Koch getting ready to be able to make her way up the hill once again and is going to be seeing 4 laps to go. Sandy, Utah, bang on those barriers and cheer her on. She only has a 15-second lead. It's 4 to go.
Down to 4 laps to go on the counter. Shannon Koch is all in on this move. She either wins this bike race or ends up dead last. There is no in between for a move like this. Andrea Sear taking up the chasing effort on the front of the field. The green jersey of Fountain Cycling.
As a reminder for our riders, there's a filling station inside the stadium. If you need some more water, there is a filling station right inside the stadium for some water. If you're looking for a little bit of hydration to be able to top off your bottles. Wait for our leader to come around. We're going to be seeing 3 laps to go. Shannon Koch coming out of Florida, perhaps used to this heat, not affecting her as much as some of the others. Everybody's dealing with the altitude unless you're from right here in Utah. But for Shannon Koch, the way she won 2 of the earlier big races riding solo, that's what she's doing once again. Another solo victory, almost possible for your race leader, Shannon Koch. Last 2 laps. Gap has been about 15 seconds. Now the question is the gap increasing or is the gap decreasing? Is the field still motivated to try to be able to win this race, or are they already thinking about how to be able to get themselves on the podium? Shannon, 3 to go, 3 to go. Gap's 20 seconds. 20-second gap, 3 to go. Shannon coming through at 53.10. Pay attention to that clock. Once again, 53.10. Here they come. Look at that. They're charging up the climb, too. Single file line. They're not waiting around. They are a little bit in chase mode. We're going to give it 20 seconds. One rider up the road. 20 seconds is the gap. 20 seconds.
Good. Sounds good, too.
A smaller field means less people to be able to chase. A smaller field means many of the riders that are left over are the strongest ones that have survived, and they're waiting to get a good result at the end of the day. So they don't want to be able to do any chances. There's nobody left to be able to sacrifice themselves. Normally when you have teammates, you put a rider on the front and they ride as hard as they can, using up their energy to be able to help out their teammate. Well, that's not the case when you only have 20 riders left in the race. Remember, 2 races in 1. The Omnium is going to be up for grabs as well. Kendall Ryan with leaving 1 rider up the roads. Not really going to hurt her chances to win that overall. Shannon Koch was not in the top 10 yesterday. Big chance for her to win on day number 2 right here. It's going to be a big victory. She is going to be all smiles when she gets ready to be able to come around. Put your hand together. Let's cheer on a little bit more. It's going to be 2 laps to go.
She can taste the victory now. Help her out a little bit. Shannon Koch headed into 2 laps to go on the line.
What a difference. Look at that flag. The flag is dead straight down. The wind has completely died down. Remember how hard it was through turn number 1 and turn number 2 for the headwind? That is disappeared. 2 to go. Riders, 2 laps to go, 2 laps to go. Wind dying down, and so that makes it a lot easier for the breakaway to be able to stay away, waiting for our leaders and our riders to all come around for the final lap. Once again, temperatures hitting about 95 degrees, waiting for our riders to be able to make their way around. Shannon Koch's going to have no problem picking her line on that downhill to make sure she has the fastest line to be able to get around to the uphill. Once she gets here, we're going to see our lead motorcycle, and then right behind is going to be your race leader as we are getting ready for the final lap. Come on, Sandy, put your hands together, because here she comes. Ring that bell, because there's one to go. One to go, one to go, one to go. One to go. Ring that bell, one to go.
Crowd here in Sandy is fully behind Shannon Koch now. They love a bold winner here. And Koch is on her way to a huge ride on day 2 of Utah Crits.
There we go. That's bell lap. One to go, one to go, one to go. Podium up for grabs. Remember, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, so on down the line. Omnium points up for grabs as well. Winner on day number 1, Kendall Ryan, your defending champion from this race, right now sitting in the main group. Not going to be able to come back and win again as Shannon Koch continues to look very impressive, turning the pedals over, going through turn number 2. Remember last time that gap was about 15 seconds? Watch how much it dwindles on this last lap. The speed from the main group fighting for position, trying to be able to move up to get ready for the sprint, is going to chip away at that time dramatically as they get closer to the finish.
Well, this is now a race for 2nd place back in the main group. Shannon Koch is not coming back, and now they got to figure out what to do about 2nd and 3rd on the podium. Koch is now a half lap away from winning this bike race. Takes a look over her shoulder at nothing but daylight back there. Meanwhile, some of her teammates did their work early, but let me welcome your champion of day 2 at Utah Crits. Sandy, help me welcome back the one and only Shannon Koch.
There's your winner in number 1. Podium up for grabs. Here comes 2nd and 3rd. Look at that sprint coming right down the Stars and Stripes jersey. Kendall Ryan in 2nd, and unofficially, I think Eileen Seitz picking up 3rd place as your podium now wrapped up after a hot day of racing.
Oh, look at Shannon Koch, absolutely blown into turn 1. She put everything she had into that win today. I don't know if she's going to make it up this hill between 1 and 2 here. Koch is suffering out there right now. Well deserved. See the last little look over the shoulder for Shannon Koch. Frankie, got to be one of the best feelings in the world.
Riders course is open. You're welcome to be able to ride the course. We have almost 20 minutes, so 15 minutes for course riding. We are not staging. 15 minutes for course riding, or go sit in the shade.
The field sprint behind them. I think Summer Nordmeyer is going to get a podium here. Kendall Ryan will take 2nd, and unofficially, we're going to put Summer Nordmeyer on the podium in 3rd for the Butterfield Zip Track Racing team out of Australia. Pretty good sprint to the line for a second. You can see the photo finish right there, but Kendall Ryan pretty clearly getting that, so she'll have another podium coming her way after a W yesterday, a second place today. That should make her the Omnium winner today as well. Here's your pro women rolling back through. Make a little noise for them. Tough race out there today. After a tough weekend of racing. So this should be a great race based on what we just saw for that pro women's race. Pro men going to be up for another good one as well. Coming up next here, we're going to try and grab a word with our race winner, Shannon Koch, here in just a bit, and then we'll put our pro women up on the podium, including our national champion, Kendall Ryan, making her way over. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Make a little noise for your race winner. This is the solo breakaway artist, Shannon Koch. Shannon, I thought you were going to fall off your bike into turn one. Talk about going all in. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. You do, it's like playing the lottery. You're going to lose more than you win, but when it pays off, it's got to be a magical feeling for you.
Oh, 100%. We're definitely an all-in type of team, so we're going to lay it all on the line. And, you know, breakaways are kind of in a sport that ends a lot in a field sport, especially in the women's category. It's kind of hit or miss whether it's going to work or not, but the girls, especially in the women's category, it's kind of hit or miss whether it's going to work or not. But the girls rode extremely aggressive today, and that last move kind of was set up perfectly, so I was just kind of like, I need to seal the deal for them because we put so much effort into it 15 minutes prior, so that was easy to lay it on the line knowing that they were back there kind of patrolling, so paid off.
We saw your director. Are you hearing in your ear when you're out there racing in a situation like that?
Well, I mean, I'm, you know, hearing encouragement, obviously. I'm hearing kind of like what he's telling the girls back in the group behind, and then kind of getting time checks. So as long as the gap was staying the same, not getting less, I was kind of content with that, knowing I only had 5 laps or so to go. But when it starts going down the last couple laps, because people are getting ready for lead outs in the sprint, you know, you got to push a little bit harder. So I was just kind of like trying to reserve a little bit for that. But in the end, I'm just happy I was able to pull it off for them because they all worked their butts off really. So
yeah, we saw
Heidi, Samantha, Elena, every single person. Samantha, Elena, every single person in the team was attacking today. So I just wanted to make sure and seal the deal for them.
Safe to say this makes a successful weekend here at Utah Crits, picking up the W on day 2.
Definitely. Happy to have, thank you for having us. Utah is always a really fun event. This course is super cool. Hopefully I'll have it next year, so we'll be back.
Super cool if you're Shannon Koch and you can solo away. Give it up for your race winner one more time. Shannon Koch, winner of day 2 for Kingdom Elite Racing.
Pro women, stick around as we're going to have your podium coming up in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, pro women podium. 5 minutes, pro women podium. Minutes, pro women podium. I need Butcher Box, Eileen Seitz to the podium. Seitz to the podium. Summer Nordmeyer. Kingdom Elite Shannon, right over there. Shannon, come on over to the podium. Oh, right here. Perfect. We got everybody. Nordmeyer, make yourself known. Oh, my bad. All right, I'd like to be able to finish up with our women's podium. As they just had a hot 60 minutes, a very tough and challenging race. On the day, I'd like to be able to introduce your top three. Starting off in third place, racing for Butterfield Zip Track Racing, Summer Nordmeyer. The Australian rider, 20 years old, picking up that bronze medal ride in the sprint. Second place, leading on the field sprint. Coming out of the Legion of Los Angeles, a California team and a California rider, Kendall Ryan. So that's going to be a silver medal on the day for Kendall Ryan from Legion of Los Angeles. And then picking up the win with a gold medal, going solo. You saw her on the front of the purple jersey for multiple laps. Crossing the line first, Kingdom Elite Racing, Shannon Koch. Look at these three champions with the arms in the air. It's a celebration and all smiles, and that's because the race is over. Tough course, tough conditions, and tough heat. Your three winners, congratulations. Stick around for your overall omnium. Shannon, I need you back up in the third spot. Third spot for Shannon, picking up in the omnium. Eileen Seitz, Butcher Box, you're going to be in second in our omnium. Shannon with that win jumps up in with 58 points. Eileen Seitz with 66 points. And after 2 days of racing, your overall 2025 Utah Crits champion, Kendall Ryan. Hugs all around. It's a 2-day battle here in Utah. Battling the heat on day number 1 and day number 2. Shannon Koch finishing up third overall. Eileen Seitz finishing up in second. And your winner, the California rider from Legion of Los Angeles, wearing the Stars and Stripes jersey, Kendall Ryan, your 2025 champion, with the official Real Salt Lake soccer jersey. Omnium, overall, your top three. Like to be able to thank all of our pro women for coming out and participating here in Utah. We know you got to travel and you got a long season in front of you, but very much appreciated. Once again, thank you to all the pro women coming out and supporting the Utah Crits. Hey, looking for Dirk. Are you around, Dirk? Need you to head on over to our registration, please. Looking for Dirk to the registration. Hey, guys, guys in the front, take 3 steps back. Stay on the front row, just take 3 steps back, starting to line up. First call to staging for our pro men. First call to staging for the pro men.
All right, coming up on about 3 minutes to race start here. We're going to make our last call to staging on the line right now. Final call to staging.
Yesterday was day number 1 of the USA Crits. Utah Crits, oh my goodness. Today is day number 2. The heat's affecting everybody. We're getting ready for 60 minutes of racing with our pro men. With that, let us get started with the rider introductions.
We're going to begin with your current national champion and yesterday's winner on Sandy Promenade. He rides for Caden Cyclery, one of the loudest men in the peloton. Welcome the Stars and Stripes jersey of Lucas Bargone.
This next rider riding in the black jersey, a former World Tour professional racing in Europe. Second yesterday, coming out of Germany, Maurice Ballerstedt.
Well, there are very few courses in American bike racing that match up to this one at America First Field, but one of those courses was won last week by this man, the 23-year-old riding for the Golden State Blazers, winner on Crybaby Hill in 3rd place yesterday. Welcome to the line, Brody McDonald.
Coming out of Colorado, riding the colors of Legion of Los Angeles, took over the American Criterium Cup lead yesterday. He was 3rd right here last year. Please welcome Danny Summerhill.
And finally, the Serbian powerhouse, 5th place yesterday, mixed it up in the final sprint for the Parks Law Firm team. Watch out for the pink jersey of Dusan Kalaba. All right, we'll welcome the rest of the riders to the line, give them final instructions, and then we're off and racing.
Good afternoon, riders. Welcome to the America First Field Criterium of Utah Crits. You will be racing 60 minutes, 3 laps and with 6 laps to go. If you need to get to the wheel pit, please do not ride backwards on the course. Podiums will be right after the race to your right. Be safe and good luck. The announcers will do your start and then a whistle.
Riders, once again, you heard 3 laps are over with 6 laps to go, 0.8 of a mile around. You are scheduled for 60 minutes of racing. We do not have any preems at all, so I don't know if that affects the way you're going to be able to race, but we have no preems, so you're racing for victory here on day number 2. Time to lock in, buckle up, and get ready, because you're going to be going on the whistle. When I say timer's ready, officials are ready. Hey, Sandy, are you ready for the pro men? Let's get ready and send him off as I say riders ready.
They're underway, 60 minutes of racing for the pro man, off and rolling. Gonna be a hot one out there today. Have a good one, guys.
Race is started. Go. Yeah, but they're coming. Go.
Front of the field, back through 1 lap in and already hitting it up there. Jacob Timmerman. Well, these guys saw what happened in that pro women's race earlier, and they are on notice on the front of this one. Shannon Koch proved that it can be done on this course, especially with this hill. If you're willing to suffer and you're willing to bury yourself, you can absolutely win this race out of a breakaway. This course with the hill and the unique sort of topography and corners and turns like this, that lends itself much better to a winning breakaway move than your typical flat 4-corner Criterium. Anytime you have something different like this, and especially anytime you have a hill, you got a much bigger chance of seeing a breakaway that works. So we'll see if anyone gets away today. In fact, it's probably not a question of if, but when we saw that first move. This time we see Bryce Olston leading the way for Empire Cycling, another local Utah team, doing a great job up on the front.
Yesterday, very preem heavy on day number 1. Giving away all our money yesterday on that traditional Criterium course. Day number 2, a little bit different here with that climb, and so decided to be able to kind of like mix it up. Let these riders, sometimes they think about saving their legs, trying to be able to, yesterday we had 8 $500 preems that we gave away. Gave away a $1,000 preem as well. So once these guys hear that a first couple times, then they change the way they race. They tend to sit in. They're trying to be able to save their legs, waiting for something a little bit later on if they wanted to be able to strike it. Today, telling them ahead of time, there are no preems. That may change the way they race, not having to save their legs for anything except trying to be able to get to that finish line first at the end of the day. Last year, big surprise winner. Talented rider, though, Ulysses Castillo, picked up the win here in 2024. It was Van Rensburg who picked up the win in 2023. That was part of that Denver Disruptors team. Ethan Crane, rider on Project Echelon back then in 2022. And then it was Justin Williams winning in 2021. Granted, in 2022 and 2021, different courses than what we have now. This is the second year here at America First Field.
Wind starting to pick up here and change direction. They're looking at a pretty heavy crosswind to start across the start-finish line now. Now, this was a headwind earlier, so in typical Utah fashion, wind shifting into the afternoon here. Going to be a little bit more off their left side. It was starting to calm down earlier, but it's starting to pick up again. You can see that American flag waving steady in the wind now. That's going to be a much different scenario for riders that try to get away. If you think you're going to do it solo with wind gusts like this is not the same course that Shannon Koch just won on, because now this wind is going to be brutal, and the worst part is it's a headwind coming up the hill. If you think about a crosswind on the start-finish stretch, well, that means a headwind coming up to that bend inside the last few hundred meters.
Pretty big field on the line, a little bit under 80 riders on the line. Talked about both of our national champions, the under-23 national champion and our pro national Criterium champion, both of them in this race. That Pro Stars and Stripes jersey won yesterday on day number 1, and our women's field yesterday on day number 1, the Stars and Stripes jersey also won. So it was a combination of national champions winning on day number 1. What's going to happen here on day number 2? Big attack, Brody McDonald in that red helmet on the left-hand side, pushing the pace, trying to be able to get it going. Following the wheel, Akil Campbell doing a great job to make sure that young 23-year-old doesn't get too much of an advantage. Last year, multiple times during the race, we had breakaways starting to be able to form, staying out there for about 15 seconds, then reeled back in. In the end, when it came down to the final 3 laps, the group was all together, and then it was a flyer, a last lap and a half flyer that caught everybody by surprise when Ulysses Castillo came across the line all by himself. It was a fantastic win for Ulysses, and so Eddie Huntsman now on the attack. A little glance over the shoulder, trying to be able to see what kind of reaction is going to come to the field. Multi-time national champion on the track, Eddie Huntsman on the attack right now in the red jersey. A lot of fresh legs. Remember, a lot of riders are feeling very good very early on in the race.
Leaders back through the line. Another big effort on the front. Seems like every time through we've had someone pushing. This time Eddie Huntsman from Butcher Box getting up there in the red jersey. Eddie went deep yesterday. One of the highlights of the race was him riding so hard on the outside line. He ends up outside the cones, just overcooked it a little bit. But Frankie, if they're overcooking corners, that tells me that they're working hard. Little gap forming on the front here. Take a look at who this is, but it's going to be a serious split going away. I think this will be Empire, and Brody McDonald going to chase him down. Little trouble at the back. Looks like a flat tire.
Yeah, that wind change, Brad, you talked about it. It's almost tailwind between turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, that is a significant departure from earlier today. Look at that flag into turn 3.
Yeah, we used to have a block headwind coming out through turns 1 and into 2. That long straightaway near the top of the course. Now it's a little bit different, riders. You can see, because I noticed how it was strung out. Instead of bunching up and being side to side, it was more of a single line, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Normally that's the slowest portion of the course, yet these guys were motoring, and that's possibly why. Tailwind on the top part of the course.
I think this was our flat tire victim. He's going to have to take a free lap here. No way. He's getting back onto this group.
Riders doing a good job of controlling things. Sorry, that's going to be Brendan Longo. Kelly Benefit Cycling. Kelly Benefit Cycling, one of the really great Devo teams that is in the U.S. Kelly Benefit's Brendan Longo. Alejandro Che, very good sprinter. Alejandro Che actually had a good sprint yesterday to get himself up into that top 10. He was actually 9th yesterday, Alejandro Che. 19 years old. Got to be able to watch out for him a little bit later on today. I'm not sure how he is with the uphill.
Oh, that Kelly Benefits team is a pretty good litmus test of greatness to come. They've got an incredible track record of being able to pick out talent, develop them, and get them to the next level. And Che is certainly on that list for me. At 19 years old, there's a lot more coming from those guys.
Yeah, Brad, you were at the national championships where Kelly Benefits was all over the podium there, having a fantastic race down there. Came up a little bit empty-handed with having the Stars and the Stripes jerseys on their shoulders, but definitely on the podium multiple times and being able to see what they're going to be able to do. A lot of these young guys going up against the more experienced pros, but they're not threatened by it. They have the legs to be able to back it up, so watch out for them in the green and white jerseys. On the attack, Justin Bolde. Waldo Racing. Yesterday was very aggressive attacking as well, and then he hit a bump, and somehow his chain like folded on itself twice, and it stopped him dead in his tracks. Don't know how it happened. It all happened when free laps were over. Pedaling along, hit a bump, his chain folded up on itself, and then all of a sudden he was out of the race when he was super aggressive and one of the stronger guys in the event. So now he's got a brand new chain, and guess what? It's gold colored. Stands out like a shiny star.
Frankie's seen a lot of stuff. If he's impressed, I'm impressed.
I was impressed on how this chain was folded over. Yeah, it doesn't sound like much, but it totally did not make sense. Logistically, it didn't make sense how it could do what it did.
Yeah, that's just riding too hard.
Well, his nickname's the Watt Zone, putting out big watts on the attack right now. Finds himself going solo. So Justin Boldy right now on the attack. That Waldo Racing team coming out of Naples, Florida. Finally, we got a breakaway. Cheer him on, trying to be able to go solo. Justin Boldy talked about the problems yesterday. Oh, that's a swapping. That's not him. That's Dylan Hubbard now. So Waldo Racing changing tactics. They sent Boldy up the road. They reeled him back in, and now it's Dylan Hubbard that's going up the road. First time we're seeing Foundation in this race. Actually, it's first time we're seeing Foundation in the race from yesterday as well. They weren't as present as sometimes they normally are, but great to be able to see that team coming out of New York now trying to be able to bring back that one sole leader. So in the pit right now, number 16, Owen Gillett. A little bit of bad luck. He's going to be re-entered in, taking advantage of that free lap rule. Owen won a big preem yesterday. He's on that light blue jersey team. We'll be able to watch out for him. They were trying to control the race yesterday. Not I want to say tried. They did control the race yesterday for about the last 6 laps. Cheney windows and doors now re-entering into the race as the rest of the group all together. So that's Jade Road, Team Rio Grande in that red jersey. Jade Road, only 19 years old, finding himself on the front of this group, controlling things. That's where you want to be. You want to be able to ride near the front so you can see if anybody attacks, you're able to go with the move. You can pick your own line around the turns. It's safer because you only have to worry about 3 people in front of you crashing instead of being in the back of the group where you have to worry about 40 guys that might crash. So all the benefits come from being in a good position, staying near the front in that first 3 or 4 riders.
Well, plenty of moves have gone off the front, but nothing has stuck quite yet. We'll see if this group has the magic sauce to get it done. I'm going to guess this one's a little too big here.
Yeah, it looks about 9 riders and a lot of looking over the shoulder right now. They're trying to be able to figure out who's coming up. Got about a 3-second gap, 3-second gap. 9 riders, a 3-second gap. Sitting on the back of that group, Connor Patton from Ascent Cycling. There goes Danny Summerhill. Remember, he was 3rd here in this race last year. Summerhill goes across the gap to make sure he doesn't miss out on the move.
Summerhill cooked corner 1. Desperate to get up there sooner rather than later. Must like what he sees up the road. He thinks this is a move that has a chance to go. If he feels he needs to chase it. And looks like Kingdom Elite is going to drag this entire field up with them here. Summerhill just made it on. Kingdom Elite is almost all hands on deck after missing this move. There's Summerhill at the back. And check that. That's going to be Empire actually up at the front. My bad.
Yeah, and Kingdom Elite is down 1 rider. Brian Gomez had a crash yesterday in that final lap, ended up separating his shoulder. So the bad luck continues. It had an operation on his hand earlier in the year, and then yesterday separated shoulder. So Brian Gomez not in this race, one of the more powerful riders on that Kingdom Elite squad. Empire now starting to be able to attack. Counterattack after counterattack. That's what we like to be able to see. What exciting racing here on day number 2. Jack Shukra, Empire Cycling on the attack right there, trying to be able to separate it out. Eddie Huntsman got onto his wheel. Shukra, 23 years old, trying to be able to keep it lined up, but everybody's responding to it. Fresh legs in the beginning of the race, that's what happens. Everybody can react to any kind of situation that's going on. Got to wait until we get to that 45-minute mark when the heat's going to take its toll and the speed is going to start to be able to put the fatigue in the legs.
Huntsman back to the front. What he's going to do here is try and pull on the elastic and just make this race as hard as possible, eventually forcing a split. Somebody in this line will let up.
Definitely getting very windy. Earlier this morning, we had crosswind going from the inside of the course to the outside of the course. Now, that wind is coming straight at us. In other words, it's coming from the outside of the course to the inside of the course. So that is going to press and force everybody up on the inside part of the barriers. That's going to become important a little bit later on when it gets time to be able to sprint. Don't want to get trapped on the inside part of the course because you're not going to be able to get around to be able to give yourself some space to get to the line. A lot of racing still to go. These riders are going to figure it out as they come by. But again, watch for them pressed on the inside part as that wind blowing off of their left shoulder. A lot of guys sitting in on purpose, trying to be able to save themselves for a little bit later on. As long as it stays bunched up, then you can stay a little bit protected from the winds that are blowing out here. Everybody on the front, oh my goodness, that was close. He threw out a hand of apology immediately coming across that front wheel. That was close to a big crash. But that's what happened. He was looking over his right shoulder. Guy coming over his other shoulder almost came across him. Nice size group right now, starting to be able to separate themselves. Big Empire doesn't want it to get away, so that's Chakra once again in the pink jersey going across the gap. Sitting on the back right now, Trevor King at Speed Block, presented by Turin. Team coming, I believe the team is out of California. 27-year-old as riders go around turn number one. Very fast coming out of turn number one. That's where the tailwind is. That's a replay where that rider almost went down. Oh my goodness, that Waldo Racing guy barely held it up, but the guy in the front, he knew. I'm hoping that was a hand thrown up in disgust, and that was a hand thrown up as an apology, because he was coming across that wheel hard. Well, all done, buddy. Nice job. Letting bygones be bygones. These two guys aren't even going to think about that one lap later, 23 minutes in. We're not even to the halfway point. Now we got an elite group separating themselves out. Watch them come up the hill. Are they working together? Are different riders coming to the front and sharing that workload? Or are there a lot of guys sitting on? Brody McDonald on the attack again. That's 1, 2, 3. That's Fetzer. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Summerhill's in there as well. Here's the 3-second gap, and the rest of the riders coming through. Dante Young having a fantastic race as he's sitting up there in that top 5 as well. Dante Young, a very good sprinter, wearing a light gray jersey right now sitting about 5th in that chase group.
Well, this race is all over the road. It's about 40 seconds from front to back in the main group. As these guys continue to string it out on the front. Another little gap forming.
Well, before we end up our 2 days, I'd like to be able to give a big thank you to the University of Utah Health. They've done a fantastic job. Our medical team sitting over there taking care of all the problems that happen with the crashes and the heat and dehydration. Once again, a big thank you, University of Utah Health medical team. Four riders, 5 riders might be the ideal number, but once we get up to about 10 riders in the group, that's when it presents problems. Team Rio Grande doing a good job, all riding next to each other, hopefully supporting each other. Those are those riders in the red jerseys right in the middle of the group. A lot of times when you're riding with you have your teammates around, that they can help you move up when it becomes necessary or when it becomes needed. Right now, they feel that they're satisfied sitting in the middle of the group. On the front of the group right now is your under-23 national champion, Luke Fetzer. Coming out of California, Fetzer with a little flick of the elbow, just kind of riding tempo, just protecting his position, riding near the front. Not very worried about what's happening right now, but doesn't want to let too big of a group get up the road. I think they have faith that Lucas Burgoyne could possibly double up and win on day number 1 and day number 2. Wow, first time I've seen Lucas in the front of a bike race before the halfway point ever. Ever.
Well, I think Burgoyne is learning this season, and he's also smart enough to realize that this is not the course to hang out on the back. Burgoyne has figured out how to surf the field on a flat, what I'll call a normal criterium. Today's course far from normal, and I think Lucas realizes that. You see Burgoyne taking a look back at the damage that he did, and he's like, what's going on in this breakaway?
How motivated are you, though, if you get into the breakaway and Lucas Burgoyne
Not at
is
all.
there?
And Danny Summerhill's in it, too? No way. Not a chance. Richard Holek is also up there with Burgoyne.
Yeah, it's when you got to follow the wheels. You don't drive the wheels. Ian Williams, one of the strong riders on Empire Cycling. Their pink kits stand out. I love their pink kits. Ian Williams actually had a pretty good ride yesterday as well. 23 years old. Ian finished up 6th in that crazy sprint. Remember yesterday going through those final turns? They were 4 abreast, bumping elbows and bumping handlebars. It was a miracle. I mean, really, it came down to the skills that these riders had to be able to stay upright. And Ian Williams was right in the mix of it, finishing up in 6th. So that was a great result for him on day number 1. Now he finds himself on the front of the chase group, trying to make sure that too many riders don't go up the road.
A breakaway, going to give up the ghost, except for a very aero Luke Fetzer here on the front. Check that, Burgoyne on the front and
look, nobody cares.
Waving to his admirers. Oh, Fetzer's controlling the front of the tempo. All right, so Lucas is going to take a solo lap just to get a little time on camera here. Meanwhile, somebody off the bike on the backside of the course. Brendan Longo in a little trouble. See if we can figure out what happened there.
Hey, he's going to walk himself to the pit, and talked about it a little bit earlier. This is not a course you can cut through, so you have to go all the way around. 0.8 of a mile around. So if you have a problem, it's going to take you probably a lap to be able to get to the free lap. But Lucas Burgoyne now on the attack. And I tell you, the main field sitting back there wasn't very concerned. This is the tailwind section. That's why it gets to be strung out so quickly and looking to be in one long line. But for Lucas, riding at about 80% effort, waiting to see if anybody's willing to come up to him. Once they take this turn down here at turn number 3, that's when they get blasted by the headwind. And remember, very strong crosswind on the uphill towards the finish.
Burgoyne continuing to power this one off the front. I think he was waving at Daniel Holloway last time through. Yeah, he's saying hi to everyone here.
Sitting on the back of the group, the young Miguel Hernandez from Waldo Racing, 18 years old. Pretty good sprinter, very strong rider, but he's not liking this hill. I don't know if anybody from Florida likes hills.
Confirmed by the crowd, confirmed by the chat. I don't think anyone likes hills at all.
Oh no, there's riders that like hills. Like across the street from us, all the Colombians. Colombians love hills. They love the mountains.
There's a good look at the Burgoyne show. You know what? They're having fun. They're racing their bikes. That's all that matters. I like it.
I mean,
I'm here for it.
We're halfway through, so we got, let us get to the lap cards when we get down to about 10 laps to go. That's when things should start to be able to get a little bit more serious. Look how it's strung out right now, though. Gap's starting to open up. It is in one long line. They're at the bottom of the hill, and they're coming across the line, and it's Summerhill. Head down, starting to be able to lead them through. Insect sitting on the back of that group. He's been sitting back there on purpose. Jonathan Carey sitting just in front of him from, again, that Team Rio Grande. Hard to have the patience to be able to sit in and stay calm when you see a rider like Lucas Burgoyne go up the road. Or if you see Danny Summerhill go up the road. I mean, alarm bells and panic would ensue immediately, and that's exactly what's going on right now because Summerhill, he's not going to be able to wait around. Lucas Burgon was out there riding at about a 70% effort. Danny Summerhill is going to be 100% effort. He wants the gap because he feels like he can win here, but he can't let it come down to a sprint. All done, all done. Cheer 'em on, two riders going up the road. Summerhill leads them through a little flick of the elbow, trying to get Akil Campbell to be able to come through. Kingdom Elite in the purple jersey.
Here comes the attack across the gap, trying to join those two up the road. I like that move. I like the looks of what they're seeing up the road. Summerhill and Campbell, that's a good duo to join. If you could be the third in that group, that's a golden opportunity here.
So that was Justin Boldy once again going across that gap. Out of the saddle over the top of the hill.
Ridge Rider going to take a look over the shoulder. I think that'll be it for him. Here comes Thomas Ford, 606 racing rider with number 3 on his back. So now don't even want to call it a breakaway. I'll call it a split in this group as Brody McDonald going to try and split it again and get up to those two. But you're not going to be looking at 3 groups. Danny Summerhill looking back on the line here as Burgoyne has gone up and joined him.
Yeah, Brody McDonald going across that gap as well.
Oh, this is it. This might be the move right here. These guys all realize it. Panic is setting in. Fetzer doing an amazing job back in the field to try to slow things down. That is going to be what cuts the tie here. As you see Fetzer headed into the turn nice and easy, nice and slow, coasts it through. That's going to be enough to cause a major split on the front. Now these guys are going to have to ride up to it.
Yeah, what's happening right now is it's groups of 2, groups of 3, groups of 2. It's not like it's one large group, and then they're going to all join, and then you're going to have a massive group off the front. That could be the demise of it, because if it builds up to about 10, that's going to be a big problem. But there are riders, look at it, 1 by 1 by 2. Everybody's jumping across slowly but surely to get up to the front.
Wow, it is a battlefield out there right now. We're showing 15 laps to go here, and this race has completely imploded. Partially because these guys up in the front have been cooking so hard up there.
Yeah, riders starting to feel the heat. You can see the difference in the way they're going across the gaps right now. Struggling a little bit more to close down that gaps. Little flick of the elbow or swinging off, trying to be able to get some help. There's Maurice Ballestedt. He missed the entire move, now trying to be able to go across in that black jersey.
Oh, did you see that elbow flick right there on the line coming through here? So that front group is working together very clearly here.
Dante Young going through. There's Maurice Ballestedt, the rider who was second yesterday. So Ama Insek has made it up into that front group. That's the white jersey sitting on the back, kind of bobbing back and forth with his shoulders. So Burgoyne, winner on day number 1, he's going to be the lead of your overall Omnium. Maurice Ballestedt, it was in second place overall in the Omnium, but obviously with the second place yesterday. He has missed it as 10 riders are going up the road. chasers are still going on. A lot of racing still to go. We're still 20 minutes out. More importantly, lap cards are up with 14 laps to go. 14. That's Lucas Burgoyne on the front. Akil Campbell, Brody McDonald. Going to get confirmation. Tim Smith, I think, is the Cheney Windows and Door that has made it up there as well. Going to be able to check out that. Here they come right now. It's going to be 13 to go. Cheer them on.
Well, pretty much all the big hitters in this race in that group. I think I saw Kalaba get up there. Super impressive for the Kingdom Elite rider, Akil Campbell. Starting that initial move and then covering it to get into the front group.
Yeah, Danny Summerhill, Brody McDonald, Akil Campbell. I think Deshaun Kalaba from the Parks Law Firm made it in there as well. Cheney Windows and Doors with Tim Smith. Tim Smith, Cheney Windows and Doors, that light blue jersey. He was on that team Rainstorm last year. Super strong rider, likes to be able to go solo. Now with this many riders in that front group, they're not going to wheel and wait for the sprint. Somebody's going to try to attack. Remember, Ama Insect, super fast. Lucas Burgoyne, super fast. Danny Summerhill, Dusan Kalaba. Now that I'm rattling off, there's like 5 good sprinters in that front group. If you want to win, you're going to have to attack early, try to be able to get rid of them. That's Dusan Kalaba on the front, Brody McDonald in second, Lucas Burgoyne in the white jersey in third. There's Summerhill, then Ama Insect, and then Tim Smith, and then Akil Campbell in the purple. Those are your leaders. Now we got to pay attention to the time. How much of a gap do they have?
Man, this is such a good example of the guys who are riding on a different level than the rest of the field this year. Every single rider in this move right now has made major moves in major races throughout the season. These are not guys that sit in the field. This is the cream of the crop, and they have all found themselves up into the front group. This is an incredible breakaway. I guess that's going to be it for Kalaba. Looks like the Parks Law Firm jersey going to be in a little bit of trouble here off the back, and Frankie, that tells me that this is a brutal tempo being set up in the breakaway.
Yeah, Dusan Kalaba feeling the effects of the heat. Flatter course yesterday maybe suited his style, but he's a previous Serbian road race national champion. So it's going to be interesting. Is he going back to be able to do work to try to be able to catch up to the leaders, or what is the plan? He was top 5 yesterday. As you can see the field coming through. I marked it down as a 20-second gap last time. 20 seconds is the gap. Well, the field just caught Dusan. He didn't stay onto the front. He ended up drifting a little bit further back, but that's one good sprinter that a lot of these other riders are not going to have to worry about. Brody McDonald coming off that big win at Crybaby Hill, the 3rd day of Tulsa Tough. That has a pretty challenging hill in it at Crybaby Hill, and Brody McDonald was phenomenal there. Riders 11 to go, 11 to go, 11 to go. 20 seconds is the gap, 20 seconds.
Now down to 11 laps to go. All these guys need to do is stay organized. Don't play too many games up in the front group. They're going to be just fine. These guys are going to be well clear of this field. I think that is your winning group right there.
I think the one team that did miss it, and they were so aggressive early on, is Waldo Racing. I don't know if they have the horsepower to be able to bring it back, but if you're looking for a team to be able to bring it back, I mean, Waldo Racing could be one of them, but Summerhill is here by himself. Brody McDonald is here by himself. Lucas Burgoyne has a teammate in the back called Luke Fetzer, and Richard Holick and a few other riders. Riders coming through now. 10 laps to go, 10 to go. 20 seconds still, 20 seconds. They've eased up. Look at them. They're all looking at each other in the front. That is not a flat-out group. Getting a little bit risky.
No chance that field is going to catch this breakaway riding the way that they are right now. The breakaway is not riding super motivated like they were earlier, but that's okay because the field is even less motivated behind them. This is an incredible breakaway. Now they're starting to change their tune up here on the line. There goes Eddie Huntsman, the red jersey up the right side. Huntsman's the kind of guy that could tack this back. Oh, and yeah, look at this. Once again, Cadence gets in the mix and slows it down. This Cadence blocking is incredible.
A lot of speedsters have all found themselves in that front group. Brad was just talking about, like, many of the favorites, if you were to put them down on paper, they're in the front. They've made the breakaway. Eddie Huntsman now trying to be able to go across the gap, but is it too late? Remember, right now it's one rider going up against 6. Brody McDonald, a very young fast rider. Summerhill and Lucas Burgoyne in the same mold.
And Ama on the back.
And Ama will sit on all day long.
If you're an American bike racing fan, this is the kind of thing that dreams are made of. You're looking at like the 5 best sprinters, 6 best sprinters in the country right now, all in the same group together, and now they're going to have to sort it out.
9 laps to go, riders, 9 to go.
Well, pretty clear that they've let the tempo off. Lucas Burgoyne having a little more fun, giving us a wave as he rolls through the line. He's not feeling the pressure yet, but this is really just a matter of who's going to jump, or do they just take this down to a sprint? That would be Lucas's ideal scenario, I think, that he just has a chance to sprint this out. But with that number of good sprinters here, I don't like the odds. I mean, Lucas is a great sprinter. He's the national champion. The guy has had an incredible season, but I haven't seen him race against this group. Such a unique scenario to see 6 sprinters in a breakaway.
Yeah, on a hard and challenging course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, granted, some of these guys are a little bit more all-arounders like Brody McDonald and Danny Summerhill, but yeah, there are some very fast riders up here, and so they're going to have to figure out what wheel do you want to be on. I mean, normally a sprinter wants to be on a sprinter's wheel, but that's everybody. So I don't know what they're going to be able to do, and they better be careful, because if they screw around and they start cat and mouse at all, they're going to get caught from the main field right now. Summerhill, he's yelling. Look at him.
Yeah.
Very vocal. He wants some riders to be able to help, and that's Tim Smith now starting to be able to come through.
It looked like he was maybe speaking directly to Smith as he came by. And again, we're not here to make friends. We're here to win bike races. And I think there's a lot of guys realizing that out there right now.
I'm just laughing right now. I'm an insect on the back. A little bit of a gap. He's swaying back and forth and playing a little bit of the game. I don't think he's hurting that much. Gaps, 15 seconds, riders, 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah, you can see on the replay, that was directed
He's yelling
directly at Tim Smith. I mean, straight into his ear.
Ama playing the game. Look at that. All drama.
Dude, I love this. For Ama, this is the right play for sure, because Ama doesn't care about what any of these guys think of him. He's here to win this bike race, and he's going to do it. He doesn't care if he has to sit on. Again, it's just business, man.
Yeah, and Ama Insek, a former national champion. I think it was collegiate national champion. Got to be careful, though, with the cat and mouse games. 8 laps to go. When they come around, it's going to be 7 to go. Now, coming down to that last 7 laps, I'm telling you, like, if I was in this race and I was a good sprinter, I would follow Danny Summerhill. That's the wheel I would want to be on. Or Brody McDonald. Those are the two that I would think about. But
Lucas Burgoyne.
Yeah, well.
Or I'm Insect.
In my head, I'm thinking that I'm Lucas. If I'm Lucas,
all right,
I'm following Summerhill or Brody. But you got to be like top 2 or 3 when you're coming around that turn. The wind also still pushing him against that inside barriers as Summerhill comes through. I'm an Insect sitting on the back right now. Currently 7 laps to go for the riders. Gap's holding steady right now. Different riders coming up to the front as that's going to be Andrew Jeanette. Cliff Family Drifters Cycling. Jeanette now coming to the front trying to be able to bring that gap down. Also, maybe Ama wasn't acting because Ama now thrown out of the back of the group. Not sure if that was a mechanical or if he's had a problem, but Ama Insect completely blown. The heat has gotten the best of him. The sprinter now 1 less in the front group.
This is the worst feeling in the world as a bike racer. I think Insect is cramped here.
You go from winning to getting dropped completely off the back. 95 degrees out, very dry heat. 1 less rider for the leaders to have to worry about. Yeah, very deceiving, right? You see them in formation riding. It looks like they're just cruising along. It's full power. They're going about 28 miles an hour. Big power coming out of their legs.
Ama is the kind of guy who is, I'm not going to say he's running a full training schedule because he's also in school and working and stuff like that, but he's the kind of guy who is paying very close attention to his training, to his nutrition. It's not like he forgot to eat electrolytes or something like that. Like, he is very in tune with his body, and that just tells me that that racing is that hard out there in the front group. Well, that explains why Ama was riding at the back as well. Again, got to do what you got to do. But I would say that was not a tactical move to ride at the back. Ama probably felt that one coming. Tried to hang in there as long as he could, though.
Man, every shot they have, look at that flag. It is blowing straight across. That's when they come around turn number 2. That's that shot going down towards turn number 3 before they take the right-hand turn. Not sure if there's Andrew Janot or Connor Mullerby that's off the front, but look at that flag, and that's how strong the wind is. That is a big flag that is blowing sideways right now, putting a lot of pressure. Once they come around turn number 3, they're going to be blasted with that headwind. That's what slows them down, and that is the same wind, that is the crosswind that they're going to have to be able to challenge with on that uphill leading up to the finish.
This is such an amazing sprint finish that's coming up here because part of it is going to be hoping and praying that the wind doesn't gust when you go to launch your sprint. This is not a steady wind out here in Sandy. It'll pick up, it'll blow really hard, and then it calms down. It almost feels like sometimes there's no wind out here. Your worst case scenario is one of those huge gusts hits you as soon as you launch your sprint and move away from the front. So there's going to be some timing, there's going to be some luck, and there's going to be some darn good bike racing coming up here over the next 5 laps.
20 seconds is the gap, riders. 5 to go, 20 seconds. 5 to go, 20 seconds is the gap. Yeah, watch for our leaders, though. If you're going to be able to do this sprint, you want to be pinned on the right-hand side. You want to be on the inside portion of the course on that fence. That'll prevent anybody from taking advantage of the draft and being able to pass you. And if you're second or third wheel, you have to be careful not to get stuck on the inside portion of the course right next to the fence because you're going to have nowhere to go. So that's a little bit challenging, trying to be able to figure out what your position is going to be on the sprint. But if you're leading it and once you start sprinting, you want to hug the right side of the road as much as possible. That's Richard Holick now, turning the legs over, tired of sitting in and riding. He's got a teammate up in front. Once again, we had a group of 6. Now we are down to 5. Brody McDonald in the red helmet. That is Tim Smith sitting in the blue jersey, the light blue jersey. Then we have the white jersey of Lucas Burgoyne, your pro national champion. Akil Campbell, we haven't even spoken about him, in that purple jersey from Kingdom Elite. And then on the back, Danny Summerhill. 4 to go, 4 to go, 4 to go. Should have told them they had a 20-second lead. I forgot to be able to mention that. Gap's holding steady at about 20 seconds right now. 20 seconds. Leaders, once they find out they have a 20-second gap, they're just going to be start worried about themselves, and that might start the cat and mouse games a little bit more between them. Once again, I can't imagine Tim Smith is going to wait until a sprint. I could see Tim Smith attacking early, maybe Akil Campbell as well. It all depends on how hard that effort. I mean, if you're going at 28 miles an hour and you're putting out that much effort lap after lap to be able to throw Ama Insek off of the back, maybe you can attack. But look here, the cat and mouse games, they are spread out across the road.
This is the time to go. If you think you've got an attack, now's the time to use it. It's not going to get any easier than this. The problem is none of these guys are long-range attackers, right? These guys are all sprinters, and they all want this to come down to a sprint. So I don't know that you're going to see anyone attack this group. They all have the same plan.
Yeah, that replay showed Lucas Burgoyne giving a little bit of water to Danny Summerhill. So nice.
Come on. How can you not love that?
Nice sportsmanship there. Yeah, absolutely. Sandy, we are getting ready for the final moments of our pro men. This is going to be 3 laps to go. Cheer on your leaders.
3 laps to go, riders. 3 to go. 3 to go. 3 laps to go.
20 seconds is the time gap. 20 seconds. Maybe not. Look at them. They're already coming right here. I don't think that's a 20-second gap. They might have come down a little bit.
Down to about 18. Empire going to ride on the front. Jack Shukra going again. Well, for those of you watching at home, the Jack Shukra fan club is going wild here in Sandy. They are losing their minds for Shukra on the front right now.
Well, definitely Shukra has them in their sights. More importantly, that field has the break in their sights as well. They are not out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, my goodness.
They're seeing it, but Shukra shot out of a gun, trying to be able to come across the gap.
Well, remember when we talked about all the favorites being in the sprint? If you're looking for a guy who can bridge over the next 3 laps, I would put Jack Shukra on my list of favorites here. This is one of the few guys that can do it and has a chance to catch this breakaway up the road here. Oh, problem is, Brody McDonald is going to put some pain into this breakaway now.
Right now, hugging the inside, and that's the shortest way around, the inside of the turn. Making their way on the inside of the barriers as well. It's going to be 2 to go. 2 to go, riders. 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go.
Down to our last 2. There's your breakthrough. Campbell going to lead him into the corner. Field has him in sight.
Wow, a lot of fresh legs coming out of that main pack right now. That's Nikos Casto deciding he wants to go across from Landis Cyclery. We are getting ready for the last lap with 1 to go.
Well, this is what Danny Summerhill was yelling about earlier with these guys, telling them that this was a real danger if they did not get their act together. And now Summerhill is looking back at his prediction possibly coming true into the last lap.
Let's go. You got it. You got it, Will.
Now it's going to be a Landis Cyclery rider going across. Looks like Shukra gave this guy a platform to launch it.
One rider sitting on right now, 4 riders on the front right there. It's a 5-rider lead group. Getting ready to be able to come around, heading up the hill as they're going to see 1 lap to go.
I think this will be Nikos Casto trying to come across. You'll see the neon jersey behind these guys. There's Casto right there.
Here's your leaders right now at the bottom of the hill making their way up. We're going to be ringing a bell with 1 to go. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go.
Down to the last lap of racing here, gentlemen. 1 to go, 1 to go. Your winner will come out of this group. 1 lap to go. There goes Costo.
What a move by Nikos Costo. Costo jumped right around Jack Shukra, leaving the rider in the pink jersey behind. Once again, 5 riders up the road, so Costo battling it out for 6, but can he catch the leader? Look at them, they're looking back. They're worried, they're like, who is this guy coming up to us?
Shukra not gonna make it. Costo gonna be the last guy with a shot here. Into turn 2. McDonald looking back. Everybody taking inventory here. Costo is the only guy they gotta worry about.
And they're all coasting. The front group completely coasting. Costa has to be able to go straight through them. Big opportunity here.
Even if he gets into the group, that is an amazing ride for Nikos Costo today. You're looking at a master class of bike racing between these 5 in the breakaway and Costo going across. This is a great day at the races.
I think Summerhill's going first. Danny in the saddle trying to be able to attack. Burgoyne following the wheel. I talked about if you're going to follow a wheel, that's a good one. Brody McDonald's getting left behind. Here comes Lucas Burgoyne on the inside. Summerhill trying to be able to hold him off with the white jersey. Your stars and stripes. Your national champion winning here on day 2.
2 in a row for Lucas Burgoyne, your champ of Utah Crits. Field going to limp their way through. What a finish. Danny Summerhill goes from a long way out, but Burgoyne follows the wheel, makes the pass on the bend, and he'll add another victory. What a race. Well, we're going to get ready to go to our podium. We'll grab a word with Lucas Burgoyne again after a win yesterday, and then we'll send him straight over the podium to wrap up our day. Right back for the interview. Welcome back. Your back-to-back winner one more time for Lucas Burgoyne. Well, Richard, you're being paged back to the line. Richard Holek, back to the line, please. I'm going to let Lucas grab his breath. You know, I've done a lot of interviews with this guy over the last 6 to 8 weeks because we always interview the winner. It's pretty rare that I see him this out of breath, slamming a Coke and water. Lucas, was this the hardest day of your season so far?
No, but it was definitely the hardest 3 minutes of the season so far. You try to post up and say something, and you're just out of breath.
Well, that hill was killer following that Summerhill move. We were amazed by that breakaway. I mean, that's basic. Expect that today.
No, but it made sense. Today was all about timing and rushing the gap.
Expect that today.
No, but it made sense. Today was all about timing and rushing the gap, and so that's why I think you found a lot of sprinters off the front. I don't think people expected them to ride after yesterday, but 10 degrees hotter 10% less humidity, it made for once the gap was open, it is really, really hard to close. And so I knew if we just held steady, it didn't even have to be that hard. It would be about near impossible to come across, and that's what you found.
Lucas, you had one of my favorite quotes of the year when they asked if you were going to change your style up and maybe stop with the celebrating and the waving and the cheering. The answer was pretty simply,
Let's get it.
all right, congratulations. I'll let you celebrate with Richard here. One more time for Lucas Bourgoin, your back-to-back winner at 2025 Utah Crits.
Hey, stick around. We're going to have our Pro Men's Podium coming up in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes for our Pro Men's Podium.
Go back and take a look at how this sprint played out. You see Summerhill first to launch here, but Bourgoin, eyes open, head up, saw the move coming. The only guy able to respond to it. That's not being the strongest guy. That's being a heads-up bike racer right there to follow that move from Summerhill, who attacked from fourth position in that line. That's the right way to do it for Summerhill, too. Attack from the back. He did it right, but Bourgoin able to follow, and you never want to be the leader going into that position. Bourgoin had everything he needed and seals the deal for Cadence as they make it 2 in a row this weekend.
Making it into the breakaway, I think Brody top placing yesterday in day number 1 as well. Brody McDonald in third in our overall Omnium.
Took his audio out of there. Yeah.
John Campbell, the president of Real Salt Lake, the soccer team right here, presenting
our third place prize. Second place overall is going to go to Danny Summerhill. Danny Summerhill coming out of Colorado, riding for the Legion of Los Angeles. Once again, John Kimball, the president of Real Salt Lake, our soccer team right here. We were fortunate enough to be able to race around the stadium. But let's move on to the winner. Winning on day number 1 and day number 2. Make no doubt about it. He is your Utah Crit champion, Lucas Burgoyne. Coming out of Austin, Texas, the Cowboy standing on the top step. Congratulations, once again, your top 3. Top 3 for Utah Crits. Thank you very much for John Kimball for allowing us with the great prizes all day long and for racing around an incredible venue here at America First Credit Union. For everybody at Utah Crits, my name's Frankie Andreu. For Brad Stoner, I'd like to say thank you very much for registering, coming out, and participating in the 2 days of Criterium Racing. We look forward to seeing you next year in 2026. In the meantime, go take a shower, rinse off, and cool down. Everybody, drive home safely.